Live from the virtual Talladega Superspeedway, welcome race fans one and all back to Green Flag TV, where this afternoon we are set to duke it out once again here for the SRA Superspeedway Blitz. My name is Ola Remble alongside Lucas Moody. We're bringing you all of racing action from start to finish here on this stellar Saturday afternoon. Lucas, only a handful of races left to go here in the season. It is 80 laps around the biggest, baddest track of the NASCAR calendar, the sister track to where the VSA Sports Car Championship was racing not even 24 hours ago. This one is set to be a wild one here this afternoon.
Oh yeah, we get back-to-back Talladega nights. I cannot wait. Yesterday was an absolute rager in the ZTRL, where we had one getaway driver completely take home the win on the last lap as everybody else got crashed out in the last lap. He was the last one to take the last one standing. As you can see right there on the ticker, Jamie Lee Dunning wins the Talladega in the last lap crash. And of course, as you said, after this, there's only one more race left for this SRA Speedway Blitz Series. That is, of course, Nashville next week, which I don't believe we'll be covering because of that 24-hour race.
That is correct. This is the final race that we are covering for the Superspeedway Blitz here in 2026. And right now, it is looking like this championship could be Gudger's to run away with. It's a grudge match between Michael Gudger and Zane Bailey. Bailey with a bad race last week allowed for Michael Gudger to take the points lead by just 2 entering the penultimate race of the championship, and it's a heads-up fight right now between two of the main contenders.
Yeah, those two teammates have been fighting it out the entire season. Zane Bailey was absolutely dominant during those first 3 races where he won back to back to back. But since then, he's had a couple bad races. Michael Gudger was able to spot the weaknesses in Bailey and take away his point leads by just 2 points, as Nolan mentioned. And then third place, Aaron Raymond is currently, 58 points behind the leader. So third place is well out of it. This is now a 2-horse fight.
So all of that takes us here to the Talladega Superspeedway, where you got yourself 33 trucks lining up and getting ready to rumble here this afternoon. 112 degrees Fahrenheit down on the racetrack at the moment. 9 miles an hour of winds blowing off towards the southwest here on InSim July 5th. So it's a hot racetrack out. That means in dirty air, it could be a little bit slick coming off the corners.
Yeah, they definitely have to be a little careful. Luckily, it is a super speedway, so grip on the track isn't the most important thing as it would be at other tracks. You can name any of them. But 112 degrees is a very, very hot track condition, so they do have to be careful, especially with the bumps and especially coming off the corners, as you mentioned. You do not want to lose grip coming off a corner. You'll just get straight into the wall or get a bad push from behind, so these drivers do have to be careful about that temperature.
Right now, drivers are gearing up to race on out here, and of course, the ever-prominent conversation, it's like what we mentioned just last night, right? It's never a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and sometimes it's a matter of how many times you're going to get the big one. Now, granted, in the Zero Torque Race League, where they were out here just 24 hours ago, they made it to 5 laps to go before we got the big one. Do you think these guys survived that long, or are we in for a bit more of a melee here this afternoon with the bigger field?
I mean, I'm going to hope that they do, but in a season like SRA, that's not really a full-out season like CTRL is doing over there. In a Blitz season like we have over here at SRA, there's going to be a lot more aggression on these drivers because there's simply less on the line if they get crashed out. So they're not going to be too worried about trying to play it safe early on in the race. They're just going to be fighting for the win because at the end of the day, that's really what matters. That's what they're racing for. They kind of just want that top spot, the bragging rights that comes with it. Since the championship in a Blitz format isn't considered as highly in these drivers' minds as winning a race like Talladega.
And so with all of that said and done, it's time for us to take a look at who's going to be starting where when we go racing here at the Talladega Superspeedway. 33 drivers are lining on up, and we are ready to rumble here this afternoon as the pack is set to roll on out. And starting things off on pole position here this afternoon, it is going to be the likes of Gavin Austin starting this one on the top alongside Michael Gudger, just 0.04 of a second off the pole time. Row number 2 in the grid, it's Josh Kenyon, another newcomer entering the grid with the kinetic number 25. He is alongside Jacob Malone. Row number 3 in the grid, it's Jim Duda. He is alongside James Yerger with row 4, containing Elliot Kandra and Dylan Wilbers. Top 10 of the field, closed out then by Thomas Lane Jr. and Ted Rekich.
Then in row 6, we will have Thomas Davis alongside Mike Campbell. And then directly behind them in row 7, in 13th and 14th positions, it looks like we have Aaron May in that 10 machine and Aaron Raymond in that Black Tires 6 machine. Then just behind them, row 8, 15th and 16th positions, is going to be Paul Witt in that 429 and Zane Bailey, currently second in the standings on the outside there. And then just behind them in 17th position, it's going to be Jared Duda alongside John Bowalda Jr. in that 18th spot. And then rounding out your top 20, it's going to be Zachary Harry alongside Cody Witt.
Back in the field, then, it's going to be Jim Coleman'sberger. He is going to be bringing it up alongside Jeff Gilmore, the Canadian, back in 22nd place on row 11. Row 12, it's Dalton Fredericks. He is alongside Noah Swafford. Moving on back through the field, then, on row number 13, it's Jordan Jung. He is alongside Scott Heidman with row 14, holding Joshua Burke and Joshua Jernigan. Final rows on the grid, then it's Carter Case who brings it up 29th alongside Bruce Dudley down in 30th. Alexander Romero brings it up in 31st. He is alongside TJ Washed George Rincon bringing up the tail end of the grid for the Goodweiser number 28 Camaro. And so just in time, the field is gearing up to roll on out here this afternoon. As the field is set to roll out, except I don't think the front runners got the memo, as now they fire off, but not before there's a checker behind.
Yeah, a little bit of weirdness there, as I believe it was Jim Duda jumps a lot of cars there, and all the confusion. He'll have to give those places back. But yes, here they are now. Nolan can talk a little bit more about this, but they actually are going to line up 3 wide here for a good memorial lap.
Yes, they are. There is, of course, a very notable absentee in the field here, and that is, of course, Bill Hales. Bill Hales was a longtime member of the field here in the SRA championship, and unfortunately, Bill Hales passed away very recently over the Christmas holidays. So you see Thomas Lane Jr. running a memorial scheme of his own out front there. He will lead the pack on what will be a 3-wide memorial salute across the line, as we will go for one more extra lap. There you see Evan Campbell along to his outside as well. It's always tough when you have a driver that departs us earlier than we may have liked, right? I mean, it shows, these guys are friends with each other. These friendships that you form on the sim, you may be competitors, but the friendships you make are very, very real.
Yeah, I've always loved SRA because there's a lot of respect in between these drivers. They race each other super hard on the racetrack, but outside of it, they're all friends. They all love each other, and it's great to see this memorial as, they're really put on a site. This looks absolutely phenomenal.
They're going to make their way to the front straightaway, and we will go quiet as they pay homage to a fallen friend. And with that, the field is going to drop back in line as they will get set to double on up so they can go green flag racing this time by 33 trucks all running in lines, and now they just got to get themselves reordered, and then this race will get back underway. But I tell you what, it's always a lovely sight to see.
That was really beautiful to watch. Very moving, very heart-touching. I'm glad they're able to do that for Bill, and everyone did it super orderly, super calmly, and it looked so nice. It really did.
So the IRC pace car going to take one more trip around the Talladega Superspeedway. And in a few moments, we will see Gavin Austin shuffle his way back to the front end of the field. As we will get set to go back to green flag racing here on Green Flag TV for what should be hopefully a fun afternoon of racing, right? I mean, Talladega is one of those racetracks you always can expect to see some good action, and I think we could be in for a good fight here this afternoon.
Yeah, 100%. Talladega is a track that always delivers, and when you're at these super speedways like Daytona, I always make the joke that if I were to pick a driver to win this race, it's less so about picking the right driver and more so about just putting all 33 drivers on a wheel, spinning it, and seeing whatever that wheel actually lands on in the end. And here tonight, I think my wheel of my brain has landed on Elliot Condra. That 09 Longland Corporation machine has caught my eye a couple times now during these pace laps, and I kind of see a spark from the eyes of that driver there, and I'm going to put my money on Condra to win this race tonight.
Elliot Condra, always an intriguing driver in these races and always one to keep tabs on as well as we get set to go racing into the evening here on Saturday. The field going to make their way through turn numbers 3 and 4. But even then, it is still a long way to wait as we get set to make our way around to the start-finish line this time by. Gavin Austin leads the way. Michael Gudger right behind him. And we are going to get set to take off here. Racing is going to resume once again on Green Flag TV for the second time in 24 hours. The field will be led into a United Rentals Restart Zone and NASCAR's biggest, baddest track. And it's time to say, let's go, go, go in honor of Bill Hales. Two by two as they fight their way to the start-finish line. Remember, no 3 wide permitted until lap 17 in this race. It is Michael Gudger who leads the way at the end of lap number 1.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of really good pushes here from Jacob Malone, which is allowing him to pull ahead of Gavin Austin just that little bit. And oftentimes at Talladega, that outside line with the side draft, with the runs to get off corners, can be quicker most of the time here, especially in these trucks. So we're going to see if Michael Gudger at 64 can keep pulling ahead and maybe even drop down in front of Gavin Austin if he chooses to do so.
And this 2x2 is something that we can anticipate to see, right? Again, no 3 wide until lap 17. That is roughly around how long the fuel window lasts on these stock trucks with the heavily limited fuel tanks that drivers are contending with. As Gudger continues to lead the way, Jacob Malone pushing him clear in the Sparko number 41. And it looks like Malone is trying to see if he can maybe shove him clear, but right now it is not happening the way you would expect, as Gavin Austin and Josh Kenyon still making some pretty good moves down low to make sure they maintain the gap.
Yeah, as you can see, once again, Josh Kenyon already on the bumper of Gavin Austin there, keeping that 0-2 car neck and neck with Michael Gudger, because that outside line has such a strong side draft. You have to work double as hard on that inside line to really stay side by side like they're doing right now. These drivers talked about it a lot yesterday. They have to be careful with the oil temps. They have to be careful with the water temps, especially if you're the pusher, that second car in line. You really, really have to make sure you don't overheat your engine and blow up your car.
Gudger continuing to fight this one out, and there's the look to the inside. And how about that? Jacob Malone beat Gudger to the plunge. Gudger trying to cover him off, and Malone jumps down to the low side. And just like that, he's going to be pushed by Gavin Austin to the point early on.
That was so awkward there for Michael Gudger. It looked like he wanted to drop down with Jacob Malone, but a little bit of indecision on the 64's part allowed the 41 to actually get alongside his left rear quarter panel and put his car really awkwardly there. And Gudger not going to go for a risky block on lap 4 out of 80. Just opts on staying high there. Definitely the smart decision. But now he does lose that inside line lead due to some indecision. But Nolan, with how this race has been shaking up so far, I don't know if the inside line is where you want to be. Because now look, he's got James Yerger, a teammate, pushing him on the outside line. I think Gudger's completely fine staying high here.
Oh, maybe not, though. Yerger got shuffled out of line. That's going to cause a stack on the outside lane. Heads up here, boys, as they're all checking up, still out of turn 2. The 17 of Noah Swafford is pushed up onto the outside line, and he's going to be sent down to the tail end of the grid as a result. Has to get out of that 3-wide situation. You are permitted to be 3 wide if you are avoiding an incident. This one definitely qualifies as avoiding an incident for Swafford.
Yeah, very smart thing from Swafford there. He saw the checkup. He realized he was carrying way too much speed due to the car ahead of him, and he also realized the car behind also was going to hit him. Swafford almost caught completely sandwiched in between 2 cars. He did the smart thing. He got out of dodge. He went high, and he is going to drop back all the way to the tail end of the pack now. But at least he's still in this race and didn't put his car in the wall. Great quick thinking there from Swafford.
So the battles continue up and down the racetrack, and right now you still have all 33 trucks line to stern, but Noah Swafford at huge risk of losing the draft. And I think he has lost the draft to the cars in front. So Noah Swafford, unless somebody drops back to lend some assistance, he is going a couple miles an hour slower than the trucks in front, and he is not. I don't think he's going to be able to reel in that gap. I think Noah Swafford has had it, and he's going to need a caution to get it back into contention.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. He was forced out of line, made the right decision to go out of line, and he's just barely lost the draft. Like, it looks like 6-7 tenths of a second there. He almost has it, but once you lose it just a little bit, catching up is nearly impossible. Unless the pack would have made a huge mistake there, a big checkup on the inside line would have helped him out a lot, or until the next caution comes out. So we're going to be waiting, but yeah, you can see, Nolan, that gap has increased to 2 seconds already. So that's going to be a 4 second, yeah, 2 seconds it is at the timing screen there. So that's an unfortunate circumstance there for Swafford, but he's just going to have to turn some laps by himself and pray for a caution.
You saw a few of the trucks towards the tail end, like Bruce Dudley, actually kind of dragging the brake a little bit. They were trying to lag back to see if they could maybe help pull Swafford back into the frame, but sooner or later they can't afford to hang around, right? They got to they got to put the foot back down and get back up to the field, or they're also going to risk losing the draft. Hence why they were forced to abandoned Noah Swafford, who is now dropping like a stone, turning over a second a lap slower at the moment than a lot of the front runners. And already, Lucas, almost 10% of the way through this race. The laps, as we saw in ZTRL, they fly by quickly when you're running green.
Yeah, when you're running green is definitely something you have to add on there to that sentence. But we are getting some great green laps here, already 10% into the race. And Yerger and Gudger have fallen back a lot here from Gavin Austin. As you can see, they're 4 cars deep now, alongside with my pick of the day, Elliott Condra. So I'm wondering if that 64 and the 19 will want to start pushing a little bit more, seeing if they can work their way up to the pack. But oh, it's going to be a block now from, I believe that's the 41 of Jacob Malone. He's going to go to the point now.
Jacob Malone leads the way, then chops down across the nose of Gavin Austin. So Malone right now trying to control both lines at once. Malone, one of the newcomers of the series, and he's trying to make a statement. So is Gavin Austin right behind, as now Austin jumps up to the outside line. And you've seen behind how James Yergin keeps poking that truck out to the right-hand side of Michael Gudger. He's trying to cool that truck and keep the water temps down, because these trucks can be extremely volatile with the temperatures, especially at tracks like these.
Yeah, and as that second car in line, not only is the air getting taken off from in front of him by Michael Gudger, but he's also trying to push Michael Gudger as he makes the move down to the lead, abandoning his teammate on that high line. But he still has Dylan Wilbers behind Yerger now, seeing if he can now push him forward. And as I was saying, that second car in line, not only do they not have any fresh air coming in from their front intake, they also are going to be on the throttle the entire lap around, just like the front car, if they're going for a push like Yerger and like Wilbers and Austin have been doing this race. So the combination of being full throttle with no clean air coming on your intake, that is what allows those cars to overheat like that.
James Yerger gets out in front. He'll be able to save a lot of temperature by getting out in front and getting a lot of clean air, much needed clean air at that, into that grill. Gavin Austin probably thinking similar right now. So will Dylan Wilbers. 10 down, 70 to go here at Talladega. And only 7 laps until drivers are permitted to go 3 wide. Now, once we reach that point, how much you want to bet that we see 3 wide almost immediately?
Probably almost immediately, I think is, yeah, a pretty good way to put it there. As soon as somebody in the back part of this pack, oh no, we're spinning the 99s around. Can he save it?
Caution is out as TJ Washed gets into the outside wall. Everyone else fans out to give each other room to slow down. Nice and orderly. And the yellow flag is out for the first time tonight. Michael Gudger will look to pick up the tail end of the pacing line, and 10% of the, 1/8 of the way into the race, and we get our first slowdown of the night.
Yeah, from the math major in the call, it's going to be 12.5%.
Is
the number you're looking for there, Nolan. As, yeah, great opening laps there. Just a freak accident that happened in the background there with the 99 in another car. But at the front, we had some really good racing. Some aggressive blocks, some aggressive moves, but it was all clean. It was all safe. It was all without contact. And it was definitely a pleasure to watch before this caution came out. And the one thing this caution does do, is Noah Swafford now can get back up to the pack.
Hey, beat me to it. Noah Swafford able to jump up to the tail end of the pack now with the Jegs.com number 17 Chevy Silverado. So this was, we talked about it before, right? He needs a caution to get himself back into contention. This caution flag is exactly what the doctor ordered for Noah Swafford. And there you see Joshua Burke dropping a little ways behind. And there you see TJ Wash with quite a bit of left front damage. In fact, missing the wheel cowl on that 99. So quite a bit of aero damage going to be impacting with the 99 here.
I can actually see his engine. I might be able to see what tricks his mechanics are doing there. Maybe steal some telemetry data from what I'm looking at. Let me see. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the RV's kind of getting
I'm telling my team right now.
And I quit
That is
covering
a
up.
really, that is a really weird part of his car that got ripped off. That is iRacing physics for you.
I think it got nicked in the corner, which is what would do it here. But we got cars or trucks coming down to pit road now. Michael Gudger leads the way into the box. And I would be shocked if anybody stayed out here, given how close they were to a pit window. And it does look like it is going to be everybody into pit road.
Yeah, and I will be shocked if anybody takes tires. I talked about it yesterday. Tires at a super speedway, you just don't have to change them at all. This should be a fuel-only run from everybody in the field. As you see, Gudger, fuel-only, and I'm assuming a lot of the guys behind are doing the same.
Yes, sir. All of them are doing the same. Jordan Jung actually missed his box, so he didn't get into his stall at all. A disaster for Jung on pit road. He's going to have to come down now, completely off cycle with everybody else. The one driver I am expected to take tires are drivers like Jordan Jung and TJ Wash who got involved in that latest incident. That way they can get their damage fixed, and well, you may as well get fresh tires while you're at it, right? I mean, especially for the guys like Jung who smoked them up. And let's get a look back, and well, we'll see if we can decipher how this caution flag came about on the back straightaway with the 99 of TJ Washed. Oh, that was way early. Or way late. Here we go. This'll do it. Joshua Burke on the inside.
Whoa.
What in the world? Well, there's where the fender got ripped off. You see, man, the 28 just managing to avoid that. A pretty hard hit into the outside wall.
That was, it looked like his cat just grabbed Burke's wheel there. I mean, he just straight up turned hard right into the 99.
Just drifted up the racetrack.
What?
I wonder if that's, what do you think? Miscommunication maybe? Thought he was clear, was trying to get to the outside line.
I am so confused. He was at his door. We're on board now with Burke, seeing if we can get a better look at it. I mean,
I don't know what to tell you.
It literally looks like a cat, a dog grabbed his wheel and turned him right. I honestly don't know what else to think of that.
And gonna try to get a look from George Rincon in the 28 machine. He was behind the incident. Has to stack it up and locks it down, just avoids it down low.
A good reaction there from Jorge Rincon. That is not easy to do as quick as that was, as quick as the wreck happened and as quick as that car approached him. So great job getting his left foot down, getting his left hand down, and avoiding that incident.
Gudger now retains the lead of the race. As he and Gavin Oss will be the two to lead us back to green. Jacob Malone, Josh Kenyon, third and fourth. Jurgen Duda, fifth and sixth. Those are the top three rows, with Wilbers, Kendrick, Campbell, and Rekich lining up the top 10. And just 3 laps from when we go green, these guys will be given the go-ahead to go 3 wide.
Yeah, and an update for the championship. Gudger currently holding on to the lead, and his closest rival, Zane Bailey, all the way down in 11th. If the race were to finish right now, the 64 would pick up a huge points haul over that 20 machine. So Zane Bailey has a lot of work to do if he doesn't want that 2-point gap to extend by a lot, because a win versus an 11th is a huge points disparity.
Green flag coming out this time by Michael Gudger. Now leads the field as they take off on the green flag. A big jump from Gudger. And Jacob Malone could go on offense here against a vulnerable Gudger who's going to have no help being that far out in front.
Yeah, getting a jump like that on the restart at Talladega and Daytona is not usually what you want, because the pack behind can just freight train you and leave you in the dust. Looks like Gudger did get away with it on that account. Jacob Malone is going to slide in behind him, and Gavin Austin on the outside line isn't going to get the run he needs to actually slingshot around that 64. So Gudger is going to maintain the lead here, and he's getting some great bumps here from the 41, even all throughout the corner, keeping that lead over the O2 car.
Michael Gudger continuing to lead the way. Gavin Austin, though, getting the run up around the outside. Josh Kenyon trying to see if he can mount an offense on that outside lane, as well as Gavin Austin going to quickly ditch the outside groove and chop back down low. And Gudger going to continue to drive through to the point as the O2 of Austin continues to lead the way from the inside.
Yeah, that's exactly what that outside line is great at doing. Getting a quick burst of momentum down one of the straights and then, dropping in front of the leader as you get that momentum. But just as I say that, Gavin Austin actually going back up to that high side, blocking the run that Josh Kenyon's getting. Kenyon's having none of it, or did he get pushed out of line as we are now 3 wide here as lap 17 starts? Nolan, we were right. It was absolutely immediately that Ted Reckett and Zane Bailey.
Oh my goodness! No. Huge crash on the back straightaway as the field falls apart. Late caution on this one, and that is half the field junked on the back straightaway.
As soon as they go 3 wide, they all end up in a wall. It looks telegraphed. That is crazy.
Golly, a tremendous crash on the back straightaway. Slows us down once more. Let's try to get a look on what went wrong here, as this collected the entire pack just about. Well, the big one could not wait around long for this one here, could it? And it was the 25 that got turned down to the inside, and Jim Duda took a wicked hit into the outside wall, got kicked up on top of the 25, and went completely airborne as the track gets clogged.
Yeah, Zane Bailey also caught up in that wreck. It looks like Elliot Condra, Ted Reckich looks to squeeze by the 94 there as well. As Jim Duda, the car who had that initial big hit, you can see all of that front and down from that car. We're going to look at it from the infield here. And it all conspires so quickly.
Talk about just falling apart for the pack. An absolutely brutal accident on the back chute. Take another look. You're going to see Dylan Wilbers just got too close to the 25, and it was on from there.
And the slightest of movement from the 25, the slightest of movement from the 21, those two things combined end up in this absolutely massive wreck that happens here on lap 15, or lap 17, excuse me. Crazy to see how just the smallest mistakes from a couple of the drivers ends in something catastrophic.
James Yerger very lucky that he didn't get caught up in that as well, as you see everyone starting to just fall apart behind. John Bolter Jr. got involved. Zane Bailey, one of the big championship contenders, involved. Michael Gudger escapes that. Look at Jeff Gilmore managing to more or less keep his truck clean on the inside and find a hole. Oh, never mind. He did get nicked by John Buada Jr. I thought he made it out of it. Not quite, though. As he then spun it up the racetrack. Ay.
Aaron Raymond, also that 6 red, white, and blue car going all the way down to that inside wall, avoiding all of the wrecks. And here we go now on board with a 25.
Hello.
And yeah, hello, that's Jim Duda there for you.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
One more time at speed here and take a look at how high this 053 gets off the ground when he pounds the outside wall. Wreckage almost went upside down as well in the middle of all of that, and then he got picked up on top of the 25 kinetic machine. You see Kendra actually struggling to keep his truck on the ground. The left front was off the ground for him. That's why he went careening back into the outside wall. My, oh my.
Yeah, so many championship contenders were caught up in that wreck. I think just going down the list, Bailey, Wreckage, Condra, Joshua Burke, Buada Jr., Gilmore, like 6 or 7 of the guys in the top 15, Jim Duda as well, all caught up in that wreck. That is huge championship implications, as all of those guys now gonna have to come down pit road, use their one and only faster pair, and put themselves at the back of this pack. And hope now that they can keep their nose clean for the rest of this race, because from here on out, it's only manual repairs to fix up any damage.
Lights go out aboard the Ivory Sim pace car. And we will get set to duke it out all over again. One more look at the wreck right on board with Cody Witt and what he saw. He was behind the masses. It all develops in front of him. Oh, he does catch the 96, unfortunately. So he does not get marks for avoiding the wreck. It'd be easier to list the trucks that weren't involved in that crash.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, what, Gudger, Yerger survived up at the front. You had Raymond and some other guys going low, but even that, just on board there with Cody Witt, you know, it looks like he made his way through scotch-free, but a little bit of contact with that car right at the start of the wreck is going to give him some front-end damage. And once again, another one of the cars is going to have to come down pit road and get that fixed up, as Nolan, the lights on the pace car are off, and we are single file.
That is because we did not make it for more than a green flag lap before the next yellow flag came out, or we didn't make it more than a set number of laps before the yellow flag came out once again. So hence, we are slowing it down.
Yeah, it makes sense that the rule they put in place. I assumed it was 1 lap, but I believe, based off what I'm seeing here, it's probably about 3 or 4 laps, because that caution did come out, or that initial caution ended about 3 or 4 laps ago now at this point. But a single file restart on Talladega is going to be probably more hectic than a double file, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Into the Night of Rentals restart zone. Michael Gudger brings the field right up by the wall. Green flag is back in the air. Some trucks duck low, and that is going to cost Wreckage dearly. Wreckage caught for pass on the inside before the start-finish line. You cannot do that on a single-file restart.
I mean, that was so weird to watch. It looked like Indy cars restarting at Michigan for a second there with the way they all lined up on that outside line. But yeah, let's see what Wreckage did here. He's right behind Dylan Wilbers. Oh, he gets stacked up.
Yeah, he sure did. And the 94 spun around behind, so you could argue that black flag was not entirely his fault, and it seems like he was able to successfully plead his case because the SRA administration has cleared that black flag. They have overruled it, and he can continue racing.
I really like that rule at tracks, like big intermediate tracks, or maybe short tracks as well. The super speedway like Daytona or Dega, I think they got to scrap it for those super speedways, because I mean, now we just have a 7-car breakaway in front of the field, and I mean, no double file until the C pack, it looks like. I don't know how I feel about this.
Well, the field going to continue to battle on. You see how much separation there is now. You've got 1st through 14th right now that are locked up in one long trade. And then you got 15th on back that are stacked up as well, headed up by Paul Witt. And then a 3rd pack headed up by Mike Campbell. So 3 distinct packs here, although one of them more just a 4-car gaggle as they continue to battle it out. Meanwhile, Gavin Austin continues to fight it out up in front. James Yerker 2nd, Aaron Raymond 3rd, right behind. And we are mostly single file. I think we can expect these guys to remain single file here throughout a good chunk of this next green flag run.
Yeah, unless you can find somebody to work with, somebody to hop that outside line in tandem with you, you're just going to want to stay single file, or if you go, nobody else comes with you, you're going to be alone, you're going to lose the draft, and you're simply going to get filed all the way to the backside of the pack. So unless we can find some teamwork here, nobody's going to be able to make their way through this pack, and they're going to stay single file essentially until pit stops, if nobody wants to be aggressive and make that move. So hopefully we do get some teammates working together here, making this race a little more interesting, but we'll see.
Well, that 2nd pack is starting to reel in some pace here. Cody Witt being given massive shoves from Dylan Wilbur is actually starting to close the gap to Scott Heidman and co. up in the front of the grid for that leading pack. So we're about to have our big field from earlier on formed right back up, ready to fight. This 2nd pack is coming ahead of steam. They could look to open up a 3rd lane.
Yeah, here they come. The 2nd lane was opened up, and that A group, the B group now, has caught that 1st pack in. Let's see what they opt to do. Looks like a couple cars going to go high and take that 2nd line, but besides that, they just have to check up and stay behind that main group. They weren't able to find the momentum around, and here we go. And we're back to pack racing at Talladega.
Yes, sir. They're going to continue to battle it out as we continue to work our way through this race. Surprised at how many trucks were able to get back out onto the racetrack after that massive pileup on the backstretch coming out of turn number 2. Only 1 truck retired out of that wreck. It was Josh Kenyon in the number 25, who will be officially classified as running 33rd after he started his race in the top 2 rows.
Yeah, and that makes sense that a lot of these guys were able to get back out there. They simply just use their faster pair, and they might be okay right now, but if that big one happens again, Nolan, which it definitely might. We have 60 laps to go in this race. I'm even tempted to say it definitely will. All of the guys that have already used their faster pair, which is about 90% of the field, won't be able to fix any more damage, or won't be able to quickly fix any more damage if they get involved in another wreck. So they have to play it much more cautiously and much more safely now that they have used that faster pair. As a 3rd line still trying to be forward here. It looks like it's Cody Witt in that 4 machine leading Ted Rekich and Jim Duda. So we got 3 cars on that top line. But a lot of squirreling from Cody Witt is not going to help the momentum at all.
You've also got Jared Duda up on the top side as well, trying to aid in that 3rd lane, but there's a lot of disagreement about who wants to lead what lane, and It's causing problems here. Wreckage cuts to the inside of Cody Witt, and Cody Witt has been abandoned up top. No faith in that third line, but that second lane is starting to show some speed as the 041 of Scott Heineman slowly but surely clawing his way to the front of the field.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught it, but Heineman was really weirdly jerking at his wheel there and getting squirrely. I don't know if he was getting pushed from the guy behind. I believe that's Kolmensberger, or if he simply, yeah, you see Heineman moving up and down the track like that? That would really scare me if I was Jordan Jones.
Looking like he's trying to come at it here. Maybe trying to keep heating the tires, who knows, right? But for the time being, he remains up front, trying to side draft against the door of Jordan Jung to drag him back so Heineman can get up there and fight for the top spots of the day. Jim Kolmensberger immediately behind him. And the battle will continue as they hit the back straightaway.
Yeah, and there we go. Jim Kolmensberger gets a great bump onto Scott Heineman. That's going to clear the 041 from the 45. Can Kolmensberger get clear as well? No, he cannot. But it doesn't matter. Heineman takes his opportunity, drops to the low line, and takes control of that inside line now. But he's going to go right back up to block the run that Kolmensberger is getting from the pushes from Dalton Fredericks behind. And oh my gosh, Kolmensberger looks like he wants to go around Heineman. Heineman's not letting that happen at all. He's going to keep his 041 car where it is. But no, here we go. Kolmensberger looking 3 wide once again.
Jordan Jung and Jacob Malone continue to scrap it out at the top spot. And once again, a line started to open up top. That is not TJ Wash making moves on top. That's Carter Casey with a huge head of steam, courtesy of Wreckage up high. And Cody Witt, now look at the 3-truck tandem going to the front.
Yeah, oh my gosh, just like that, out of nowhere. Carter Casey's going to lead a lap for the first time here tonight. Matter of fact, he's cleared Ted Wreckage. He's cleared Cody Witt as well. All 3 of them are going to move down into the inside line. But Casey, a little bit indecisive with it, gets caught in that middle line. And now he's going to be leading the middle line. Wreckage will be leading that bottom line. And another big head of steam, Dalton Fredericks, leads that top line.
And still multiple trucks opening up 3 different lanes. The aggression is not showing signs of slowing down soon. For a lot of these contenders, this is the longest green flag run we've been on now. And again, that first green flag pit stop window likely less than 10 laps away. As they will see Wreckage, Witt, and Heineman making a move up front. Look out as the 20 truck almost pings off the door of fellow contenders there. That was actually the 0-0 of Dalton Fredericks. 20 on the car scored as the 0-0.
Yeah, and looking at the timing screen, a big shocker of the night, Michael Gudger, who was actually leading this most recent caution all the way down in 23rd. Matter of fact, behind Zane Bailey, who's 22nd. So Michael Gudger, just off this restart alone, dropped from 1st to 23rd, so not going to be the greatest restart from him, as still some blocking going on from Cody Witt and Carter Casey, as they're now going to drop down that inside line in front of Ted Wreckage.
Well, Cody Witt will lead the way up front. Carter Casey jumping up to the outside as well. James Yerger 3 wide up high, with more trucks filing into line. Joshua Jernigan seeing if he can't find a hole in that middle groove, although James Yerger will get back down in line first. And Paul Witt up top in the number 11.
Yeah, Jim Kolmensberger, Carter Casey, going to be the 2 leading those lines. And I was watching James Yerger there, and I remembered something funny you said from last stream of James Yerger is on that Ford Racing team with Ted Wreckage, Zane Bailey, and Michael Gudger. But if you remember, him and Wreckage actually are driving Toyotas. For whatever reason, I forgot they did that. They're in the Toyota Tundras, to where Gudger and Bailey, they are in Ford F-150s. So I just, something weird I remember from last stream, that 2 of the Ford Racing guys actually driving in those Japanese Toyotas here for this season.
Still scrapping it out up front. And man, these trucks are just weaving all over the lines. Nobody wants to be the one running second fiddle. Everyone is trying to get some laps led this afternoon as Coleman'sberger, Wreckage, and Hyman all clear down ahead of Carter Casey, allowing now Paul Witt to lead the outside line.
Yeah, as it doesn't look like fuel is going to be too big of an issue this race. It's kind of just drive until you're out and then pit when you are. There's no fuel strategies that you have to watch out for like there was last night in ZTRL because of the stages. So the guys are just driving for it all. They want to be leading the pack. They don't care if it costs more fuel. They just want to be the ones in the prime position when it comes to lap 80. So a lot of aggression being shown early on this race, even though we're not even halfway through. These guys still want to be up there. They still want to be leading as, whoa, a big block from Wreckage to the high line. Almost got followed by Scott Hyman as well. Hyman decides to go back down low, not follow Wreckage up the top line. That could have been catastrophic.
Approaching lap 35, and now some drives about to start the 17th lap of their stints. Fuel continues to be a major, major question. Paul Witt now jumps to the outside. He will lead the way up high. Jeff Gilmore will quickly take control of the outside lane as Paul Witt, like clockwork, jumps down into the inside lane. And Jared Duda now leads the way up high. To give an example of how much the lead has swapped around, look at how many different drivers have led laps so far today. And no one has led more than 10.
Wow, yeah.
Say for Gudger, who's led 15.
Besides Gudger, yeah, that's a really awkward timing. But it just flipped over to Gudger as you were saying that. Yeah, Gavin Austin, who's led the most out of these guys in the top 20, has led 7, but he's all the way down in 15th. The guys who have been actually exchanging the lead of hands are all at the top here. 1, 2, 1, even a couple zeros. Matter of fact, there's a first lap lead there from Jeff Gilmore. That as he crossed the line right there. So, yeah, crazy statistic that many different people have led these laps. And it goes to show that these guys are doing a great job of using that outside line to file themselves ahead of everybody else, drop back down, lead a lap, but then they just get the same thing happening right back to them. So it's a crazy game of chess being played here early.
Five laps to go before we reach the halfway point in this race, and you can see how many drivers have moved down to the inside lane. Everyone is ready for pit stops. At this point, it's a game of chicken. Nobody wants to be the first one to blink, because if you're the first driver to come down, there's no guarantee you're going to be getting anybody else coming down with you, and that is right now the huge worry for a lot of contenders in this field. You want to be the second, third, fourth driver coming in, but not the first.
Yeah, it happened to me once in one of my Daytona 500s that I was doing in the iRacing official servers, where I was leading the pack. I said, okay, I'm going to come down to pit road now over the iRacing radio. No matter field, I'm going to come down to pit road. Anybody that wants to join me can. I turn down to pit road. I look in my rearview mirror. Literally nobody follows me, and I am left to dry for the next 10 to 20 laps before the caution came out. It is the worst feeling in the world in racing. There is actually nothing worse than that.
Speed coming to pit road. One truck already making its way in. That is a lapped car. Elliot Candra 09. It was already off of the leaders, has just made his way to the box. Ted Wreckage continues to lead the way. Scott Hyman second, Gilmore third, Jared Duda fourth. As the fights will die down a little bit here on what has been so far our longest green flag run of the night. Oh, a lot of trucks getting underneath that double yellow line, though. Gotta be careful with that.
Yeah, just as you say that, it was a big checkup from the inside line there as Joshua Jernigan now looking to take advantage of that with Scott Heidman as he's trying to push the 041 clear of Ted Rekich. Their momentum now kind of goes to a halt as Thomas Lane Jr., that crucial third car in line, trying to stay right up to the nose or right up to that bumper of Joshua Jernigan, seeing if he's able to get that backdraft on the 22 to allow Joshua Jernigan to make contact with the backside of Ted Rekich's car. But Ted Rekich actually, or sorry, not Rekich, Heidman does get clear of Rekich. He is just going to abandon the two people working with him. The 041 just uses a 22 and the 38, and now Jernigan and Lane Jr., they're off to fend for themselves on this highlight alone.
And the fighting will look to continue as Scott Heidman leads the way. Still have Thomas Lane Jr. And here we go. Multiple trucks making their way into pit road, this time by Scott Heidman, the first one to lead the way in. But look at Carter Casey getting around the both of them as he jumps them on the way into the box.
Yeah, here we go. The pit stops have commenced. It looks like 6 or 7 cars come in for this first stop altogether as the 3 and 94 also get filed out of line. Those 2 cars might be a lap down as your 2 leaders now going to be Ted Rekich, Jeff Gilmore, as well Jared Duda. Curious when those 3 guys going to make their way down to pit road. We know it has to be soon, Nolan. We just don't know how soon it has to be.
Pit stops imminent here in this one as it'll be halfway home this time by at the line for Ted Rekich and Jeff Gilmore. And here they go. It's the rest of the pack coming into pit road, and this is going to be dicey here. A lot of... Oh, look out, the 41 slides, and he's going to collect a bunch of them. Multiple trucks caught up, and we got several spinning on pit entry.
Green flag pit stops at super speedways are some of the most terrifying things to happen. Nolan was talking about it yesterday. It's hard enough stopping your car from 180 miles an hour to 55 on cold brakes. It's so much harder when you're doing it around 10 other cars also trying to slow down their car.
That's where it always goes wrong. It's always when you're trying to lock it down with everybody else, and that is going to break up this pack significantly, mind you, as several drivers are going to be caught out as a result.
Yeah, and it's also going to be a question of where does this second group that pit come out in correspondence to that first group that pit? As I kind of forget who was with it that first time. I think it was Carter Casey. We're going to see where that 96 comes out in correspondence to all of these other guys.
There he is with Cody Witt.
They look to be pretty far behind. They're at the complete tail end of the pack.
A lot of fractured trucks as a result of a wild pit entry. Take a look on what went down here on the way into pit road. They went 5 wide for a moment on pit entry, and it was the 41 that tried to make the look, and then he locked up the rears. Gavin Austin had to scramble right to avoid, but it was too late at that point. Multiple trucks spun around the 33, locked up the rears in sympathy. The 20 caught a piece there. And man, it just goes from bad to worse.
Whoa, the front left quarter panel of that one car in pit road is swinging out there like a Ferris wheel. I don't know if you saw that. That was kind of crazy iRacing physics moment. But yeah, it all looked to be safe and sound for those drivers. Just one of the drivers, unfortunately, makes a self error, locks up his rear tires, and that causes chaos to ensue on pit road. But it looks like they were able to get around it pretty decently, considering everything that happened. And I don't think there's too much damage on those cars that were involved in that wreck.
Could have been worse, but they could have been a lot better. This has resulted in a 4-truck break with Rekich, Gilmore, Jared Duda, and Yerger all out in front, and then it is Gudger and Co. all the way on back to 15th, and from there, you see just how much this field's been fractured up right again. Oh, and we got a crash. Caution is out, and it is for the 94 of Zachary Harry sideways on the front. And that's going to, once again, be a lifesaver for several drivers.
Yeah, the breakup in the pack that we had due to the pit stops there, that all gets completely erased now, Nolan. And it's going to be caution. It's going to be a double file, and we're going to go right back to that pack racing that we had just about 3 or 4 laps ago now. So kind of lucky caution for us viewers here, because instead of having to watch this kind of, you know, broken up, clustered super speedway race, we do get to go back to that double file action-packed racing that we like to see around Dega.
Critically as well here, Lucas, for several of these drivers, they are not going to be coming back down pit road, but there is still one pit stop window that is left. That is a guarantee. You cannot go the distance from here on this one. And let's find out what went wrong with the 94 in the middle of the front straightaway with Zachary Harry. TJ Watch was the other truck side. We see him in the background, and that is the 3 of Alexander Romero right in front. So 3 of the rookies entering this season. Trying to get a 3-truck tandem going, and is this a case of pushing the pusher? Oh, what in the world?
What?
Did the 94 clip into the truck in front of him? That had to be what happened, right?
That's happened to me before. It's a very freak netcode incident that only occurs at super speedways. It happened to me in Next Gen during one of my practice sessions for Ball State. It's a really freak accident where you just snap into the car ahead of you because iRacing thinks that the car ahead lost a lot of speed, when in reality it obviously didn't. You can see the 3 is completely fine. It is, Nolan, simply put, a freak iRacing incident, and neither of the drivers' faults.
Right on board with Zachary Harry here. Oh,
yeah,
it's as if he activated the magnet on the back of the truck. We actually do have a lot of trucks at the pit road, which is actually a huge surprise to me.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It is simply put one of those things. As yeah, I'm also surprised people are coming down to pit road to top off. They pit literally 2 laps ago.
Well, I'd imagine. I'm not surprised that trucks that got caught up in the pit road crash are coming down for damage repairs, at least.
But yeah, everyone coming down pit road, maybe it's because the fuel window is so tight. It's about 17 laps, we assume, that just those extra 2 laps, Nolan, might be enough to get them to the end of the race with only 1 more pit stop with about 17 to go. And that has to be it, I think.
Let's try to get one more look at this one, and we'll look to get a real big close-up at this one here. You see him, like, really right at the bumper. Nothing seems to be awry. And then right in the middle of the front straightaway here, they're in the restart zone.
Blink and you'll miss it.
Right there. It quite literally is like he shots it out of the back of the truck that embedded itself in the grill.
Yeah, it's like the moment from Star Wars: The Phantom Menace where Sebulba's throwing wrenches and the guy's behind him.
Oh,
it literally looks like a wrench just
instantaneously. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. It is so weird.
That's a callback.
And it's just
right
one
there.
of those things. I know, right?
That was actually.
This can make you feel old. I wasn't born when Phantom Menace was released.
Well, I wasn't. I was under a year. I mean, that was a 2001 film or a 1999? Was it 1999? It was 1999, wasn't it?
It might have been.
In that case, no. That was before my time, but that was actually the first Star Wars film I had ever seen, and I saw it when it was re-released in theaters in 3D some years later.
Yeah, I believe Phantom Menace was also the first one I've seen. I know there's a big debate in the Star Wars community of whether you watch it in release order or you watch it in chronological order.
Chronological is the best for me.
Yeah, I've always been a fan. I guess that's how I was introduced to them, so I'm a little biased, but I've always been a fan of you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and not 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
Well, I mean, it spoils the reveal a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, that is true, because one of the big moments of episode 5 is that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father. I hope I'm not spoiling that for anybody.
It's been 40 years. 50 years. It's been 40 years. They can get over themselves. If they haven't seen it by now, it's their own fault.
Yeah. But yeah, it does ruin the big reveal in episode 5. But
kinda.
Yeah, something about, watching it in chronological order, watching Anakin grow up, turn into Vader, watching how Vader, ages and, finds his soft spot at the end of episode 6. There's something good about it.
It's especially good when you watch the Clone Wars series in chronological order throughout them. Like that. Now that is peak Star Wars, and nothing can convince me otherwise. But still single file, interestingly enough. We are not going double file for the restart here, Lucas, and that is surprising to me.
Yeah, I think they must have updated the rules to where not just now consecutive restarts are single file, but all restarts besides that first one are single file, kind of like IndyCar rules. If anybody is familiar with IndyCar series, they always start double file and then single file any restarts in the future of that. But the pace car is entering Pace Road, and I'm going to take a look at any rule updates.
Pace Road. That's a new
one.
Sorry. Pace Road. I'm not opposed. I like the sound of it. It rolls off the tongue well. Indiana Raiders restart zone. 34 laps to go. Green flag is back in the air from Talladega. Jeff Gilmore jumping out in front. Aaron May, Paul Witt running second and third. Bruce Dudley, Dalton Fredericks, the top 5. This time, no major breakups in the field, which means this pack is going to quickly double and triple file out.
Yeah, now it's that same kind of game of chicken as it was before, is who's going to be the first one to make a move to the outside, and it's everybody, Nolan. Jeff Gilmore has been completely abandoned by his racing compatriots, and look at this. He's trying to force the issue. Whoa.
Close call between Jeff Gilmore and Paul Witt. A wild save for the two of them. And you saw Jeff Gilmore's trying to side draft to pull Paul Witt back. It didn't work out in his favor, though, because now he's falling even more. Look at the third lane, headed up by James Yerger. Michael Gudger trying to open up some speed. Zane Bailey up on the top side as well. Ted Rekich in the mix as well, and what a good job from Bailey to stick with the battle here and continue to fight his way on through.
I mean, that was such an aggressive move from Gilmore. You can tell it was definitely a bit of rage driving him a little bit. It's like, all of you guys left me? Well, I'm just going to turn up into you guys and force myself back into the line. Because you can tell that was just a move, just like kind of fueled by just racing emotions there, as he got completely abandoned on the inside line and just decided that he doesn't want to be stuck there. He's going to just force himself back into the pack. And I mean, hey, I guess it worked. He didn't crash himself out, and he's still the second car in that middle lane. But the head of steam that this top lane has, Nolan, oh my gosh, led by led by James Yerker, getting pushed by, let's count them, 1, 2, 3 of his Ford Racing teammates. We got 4 Ford Racing cars all lined up in a row.
No!
They wreck each other again! Back-to-back races!
Oh, and a big hit to the inside from Michael Gudger, and it's the big one, part 2 on the back straightaway. Gudger took a vicious T-bone shot on the apron. And we slow it down again.
Nolan, I am in disbelief. It is now back-to-back races where Ford Racing teammates take each other out. I mean, this is mental. This is insane.
Gudger got up into the wall, and then Zane Bailey filled the hole, and it was on from there. You're going to watch here as the field spins down the side. Jim Duda manages to avoid a lane, almost went over, and right there, big hit for Gudger down on the inside of the racetrack. As everyone just careens into one another as trucks try to woe it down and avoid, and ended up getting involved as a result.
I mean, I am absolutely speechless. You have what you want. You got your 4 cars on that outside line, chasing down the lead of the race, and you just give a bad push as a 3rd car in line coming off of an exit. I mean, I'm just speechless.
Multiple trucks go spinning around. James Yerger took a pretty hard hit as well. Zane Bailey, of course, spun sideways yet again. Take one more look at this from up top. Just a stack of it at Constantina, and that's all that caused all of that mess back there. Look at
how it looks like Ted Rekich able to get through it pretty good, though.
The 45 there got turned. He clipped the 94, and then watch the 45 truck come spinning and careen right into James Yerger. And once again, this race falls apart. Boy. And just when you think it can't continue to escalate, boy, they find a way, don't they? Caution is out for the 3rd time tonight. We're going to take ourselves with a quick step back when we return. Racing action continues on Green Flag TV. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV as this race continues to show its escalation over the course of what has so far been a brutal night of racing, a brutal day of racing, in fact. Of course, you had the World Before the 24, which ended up being quite the attrition-filled affair, and, well, now these trucks are continuing to pile up more and more. Our second big one of the night, and for those of you that are just tuning in, take another look back on what brings us under what is going to be about our 4th caution here of the afternoon.
Yeah, once again, it's just that top line has a really weird stack-up Constantina effect. Gudger gets up into the wall, Bailey comes down, hits Cody Witt, and it just all kicks off. Duda there has big, major contact with the 64, and then from there, it just completely implodes.
All of this sees us slow it down once again, now with under 30 laps to go. Once again, my name is Little Ramble alongside Lucas Booty. We bring you all of the action so far and what is all yet to come here on Saturday night's final running of the Superspeedway Blitz before the main truck series kicks off in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I'm so hyped for that truck series. I think that if we can take the good action, the good racing that we've seen from this Blitz series and just clean it up a little bit, you know, just take out a couple cautions, take out these one-off mistakes from these drivers that we know can drive better, to just make these really weird freak mistakes. Clean up a little bit, we can get some really good racing and a really good title fight between Raymond, Bailey, and Gudger are going to be your three guys I'm looking at for the moment. But hopefully we can get some new faces also entering that title fight. I know Wreckage, Paul Witt, they're also super consistent, fighting for wins as well. So let's hope that they can also enter their names into that title contender spots there. And maybe, who knows, Nolan, maybe even some rookies can become contenders themselves. It's going to be a great season. So make sure, if you're liking what you're seeing here, make sure to tune in to the full series when that starts up in about 2 to 3 weeks' time.
Coming at it into the United Rentals restart zone. Jeff Gilmore leading the way. Going to jump on the loud pedal. We are double file this time around. Green flag is back in the air. We're back to it. Dalton Fredericks trying to pull clear around the outside with Aaron May in tow. Bruce Dudley continues to be the primary pusher to Jeff Gilmore down on the inside. And already looking for 3 wide up high is Gavin Austin, but Aaron Raymond fills the hole instead of going up to help him.
Aaron May able to push Dalton Fredericks clear then he drops to the inside line, completely leaving Fredericks, but Walden Jr. also leaving Fredericks, and Dalton Fredericks, who's just in the lead at the top of the world, gets abandoned by both of his pushers. He's going to now fall back into the clutches of Aaron Raymond, hoping that that 6 car can push him back to the point, and maybe this time he'll drop in front and see if he can take away the lead from Aaron May.
Aaron May, John Walter Jr., Jeff Gilmore, and Bruce Dudley continue to battle it out. Some trucks jump up to the outside line. And now, the 45 entry. Starting to power through that third lane as 2 different 3-truck tandems and is starting to gain some more momentum behind it. So, once again, lane 3 becomes viable with still 30 of 33 trucks on the lead lap.
Yeah, as one of the cars, the 02, I believe. Yeah, that's going to be, I kind of forget, but he actually, like, really sketchily leaves that top lane, goes back into the middle. But Aaron Raven now, one of the more aggressive drivers in this trucks, he's going to hop up to that top lane. He's going to now be the one leading it with Gavin Austin in that 02 behind. And look at the head of steam they got. They're going to get themselves clear. And 3 of them, Raymond, Austin, Duda, all going to drop down into that middle line. And Wreckage looking to follow suit as well, but he's just not able to do it in time. So Raymond now leading this middle line. Let's see if he can side draft on the 28, on the 53. And he's now looking to make his way to the point of this field and challenge Aaron May for that lead.
Aaron May continuing to battle on through here as drivers are showing no fear in what has been going on so far, right? A lot of 3 wide, and while all the incidents so far tonight have mostly come from 3 wide incidents, these drivers still saying, hey, we can make it work for all the rest of the time. Let's keep her going. So Ted Wreckage leads the run up high. Aaron May leads lane 2 in the middle. Well, Aaron May, look out, Bawalda, a big tank slapper. This could be trouble as everyone scatters in the back straightaway.
Oh, how did they save that? Bawalda Jr. gets pushed up high into the inside lane, forces another car completely out of it. But after all is said and done, the checkups, you know, are chaotic. I mean, great driving from the field. Really great driving.
No kidding. That was stellar from the pack as they continue to battle their way around. That has cost Bawalda dearly, along with Aaron May. They both dropped deep down the field now. But, we're looking for 4 wide here. Heads up as the 45, Jordan Jung, almost got turned across the field there. The 41 of Jacob Malone goes up to the top.
Ooh.
The 3 looking for the middle. We're 4 wide now in the back straightaway.
Oh, no. You just have to lift there, Jordan Jung. You can't just ram into the back of somebody like that in the middle of a corner. I know it was an aggressive move from Jacob Malone, but you just have to lift. That could have been the 3rd big one of the night, Nolan, because that would have been a car in the lead on the top lane getting spun down the track. That would once again be half the pack taken out. We are very lucky that Malone was able to save that. That could have been catastrophic.
23 laps to go as Ted Rekich cuts down across the nose of Gavin Austin. And after a tight moment, we remain 3 by 3 wide on the back straightaway. No end in sight yet to our green flag running, but who knows how long that's going to last. Jared Duda cuts to the inside. Dalton Fredericks couldn't go with them. And we remain close in the mid-pack.
And that 3rd line, it keeps getting formed up top there, but we never really see it getting to the front of the field. It's kind of just looming there about 6 or 7 cars deep. It hasn't really been able to challenge for the lead just yet. It's going to take a lot of hard work there from those guys, a lot of good pushing, but also safe pushing. There's a littlest bit of wiggle on that top lane, you're going to get into the wall and you're going to lose all your momentum. Matter of fact, just as I'm saying that, Zane Bailey and co leave that top lane. So now it's just 2 up there, unless... Oh, what just happened?
Jacob Malone got put into the sucker hole there, and now you see him tumbling down the order. That is actually giving the 3rd line a lot of momentum. That was what I was going to mention, right? That 3rd lane can have speed. They just need somebody from the front to go up and give them a sniff of draft to get up there. Now that they're up there, they're able to start clawing their way back towards the front. And all of a sudden, look at how far up towards the front that 3rd group is now.
Yeah, they just need 1 more car to give them a little bit of extra pull there. Jim Coleman'sberger might be looking. I can tell he's kind of twitching towards it. He might be the one to give that outside line what they need. But he has to do it quickly. He has to act quick. What he has to do is get a run off of Carter Casey, use that momentum, slingshot up, pull that group in from behind, and as a 5-car tandem, take the lead of this race. That's what I want to see here from one of these drivers in that middle lane. Jim Coleman'sberger's the one I'm keeping an eye on, but realistically, it could be any of them.
Again, up high is the 88 of Bruce Dudley, and that almost gets into it big with Cody Witt, along with the number 3 of Alexander Romero. 20 laps to go. Only 25% of this race is left now at the line, and already these guys are racing like it's 5 to go, and that's how you know this cannot last. We are not making it to the end of this race green.
Yeah, I second that, Nolan. With this 3-wide racing that we're having here, Bruce Dudley does find his way up to the top lane, just as I was saying. He's going to lead that top lane to the point of this field. It's now the 45 of Jordan Jung versus the 88 of Bruce Dudley versus the 53 of Jared Duda to see who's going to hold on and lead this next lap. And we're 3 by 3 by 3. Here we go. This is what I wanted. That middle lane, though, starting to fall back as Dudley drops down.
Now, what this has meant is we are now in the window to pit and make it to the end. That's one that we kind of forgot about over the last 10, 15 laps, though, right? These drivers still need to make one more pit stop before they're good to go the distance. You can now make that pit stop and be safe to go to the end of the race. So for drivers like Jared Duda at the front, are you thinking about coming down early to get out of the melee here just in case there's an incident?
Yeah, I definitely think a great strategy is to link up with 3 or 4 of your teammates, 3 or 4 people you trust to push. Come down completely alone before everybody else. Make a 3 or 4 car tandem and just use that to actually gap the rest of the field. I mentioned it a little bit earlier yesterday, but 3 or 4 cars is actually the quickest way around this track if you're able to do it well enough. So what you just want to do, come down with 2 or 3 of your teammates, come down pit road, come out, and just you guys stick together. Don't worry about what the pack is doing, because you know that you can be matching, and most of the time, even beating their lap times. That is what I would do 100%. You just got to find the right guys to do it with.
Jared Duda continuing to lead the way up front. Gavin Austin, Dalton Fredericks still situated back here in 3rd and 6th. 3 by 3 wide as, oh, look out, the 3 of Romero getting put into that middle groove, almost 4 wide, but they hold it together still. And at this point, who knows what's going to happen in the back stages of these last 20 laps.
Oh, it's a big bump from Cody Witt, almost putting Carter Casey into the wall. Look at that. The 4 is all over. The back bumper of the 96 there, even throughout the exit turn 4 there. Cody Witt desperately wants to catch up to the head of this field. And matter of fact, he is completely leaving Carter Casey. He doesn't like the way he's receiving his pushes. He's going to drop down to that middle line and see if he can find another way to make his way to the front. But here we go. Some other cars. Look at that top lane opportunity. Can't quite see who it is, but they're now challenging for the lead. It's Wreckage pushing the 88 of Bruce Dudley. And it looks like they had the momentum they needed, but now, just ever so slowly, it looks like they're falling back. It's another really scary, tense moment there.
I mean, you got to get single file out soon, right? I mean, because that pit stop window is looming within the next 7 laps here. So drivers cannot keep this 3 by 3 by 3 going for very long. Gavin Austin now clears. He's going to jump down. No, not quite. He maintains that run to the middle groove. Might be trying to pull a teammate with him here. Now he jumps down low as Bruce Dudley challenges and finally the 3rd lane is competing for the lead.
Yeah, here we go. That top lane led by Bruce Dudley. He drops down to the middle lane. Wreckage now leading that with Carter Casey as a pusher. They're going to have to refine the momentum as Dudley leaves them. The 42 or the 02 of Gavin Austin makes the aggressive move up to the top. Dudley looking to go around him on the top lane, but he doesn't have any help. Wreckage is too far behind to give the 88 what he needs. So Gavin Austin's going to keep control of point as Jared Duda now with control of that bottom lane.
Trying to fight this one out still as drivers continue to make a run all the way up to the outside line. Gavin Austin holding station in the middle groove, but down the inside goes Jacob Malone for the race lead. Michael Gudger tucks in line down to the inside with him. 15 laps to go here. And the battles continue.
Hold on. Oh, Duda below the yellow line.
I'm not a fan of that. Not at all. Now, nothing Duda did wrong. That was all incident avoidance there from the field, but you're holding your breath at this moment.
Yeah, because not only do these battles continue, but this 3 by 3 continues as well as Wreckage leading a line that doesn't really know where its home is. It's like kind of in the top lane, kind of in the middle lane. Now Wreckage and Casey drop to the bottom lane as the 27 and the 96. They were the ones leading that top lane just half a lap ago. The checkup from the middle and inside lane, they use that to their advantage and now take control of that inside lane. So great job from those two. Wreckage now to the point battling Alexander Romero.
Jeff Gilmore comes down pit road, and he will be the first contender in this field. You can see already how quickly these drivers are trying to get single filed out here. They are right at the limit on being able to, or on being forced into pit road here. Alexander Romero and Zachary Harry both jump down to the inside. Now, they got to be careful, right, because these are 2 trucks that got collected earlier on as a result of their bump track. But if that happens again here, it's going to be a much more devastating accident.
Yeah, we talked about it a little earlier. Here we go, pit stops.
Oh, boy. It only takes one. Here they come on the way into pit road. Does everyone lock it down? Looking like they do.
Okay.
Nicely done.
Applause, applause, applause.
Never mind.
99 TJ Wash in the infield.
We were so
Almost.
close. we were right there. We missed
Let's
it by
count it.
one.
Let's count it. I think one car spinning by himself, not collecting anything else, I think that counts as a successful green flag pit stop.
I don't know if TJ Wash would agree with you on that.
I guess that would be. He's probably a little upset at himself, as I'm sure Jacob Malone, Gavin Austin, the rest of these guys also going to have to make their way down to pit road pretty soon, as only 2 of them come down actually.
Yeah, only a handful of trucks making their way into the box, along with Elliott Candra just a little ways in front of the group. So the others are going to stay out for just a little bit longer. This is what happened to TJ Wash here on the way into pit road. And maybe not quite. Well, there's Aaron Raymond up the road. What in the world has happened here? This is a bit of a strange moment. And, I think that was all these guys trying to make their way into the box. So I don't know. We are going to be able to find it. Here we go. TJ Wash coming down to pit road. They just locked the rears on the way in and spun her around.
Yeah, so same exact thing Jacob Malone did earlier. It's really, really easy to do around the Superspeedway, because think about how cold your brakes are coming into pit road. You haven't used them in essentially 20 laps time, so they get super, super cold. As you go to slow your car down from 180 miles an hour, super easy to lock them up, as they simply just don't have the heat to give enough slowing power to your car that they would want. And surprisingly, Nolan, these guys still able to stick it out here, a 6-car tandem now.
Well, they're on lap 20 of their stint. We saw drivers able to stretch at about 22 on the longest run so far of the night. So a lot of the other drivers, they came down a little bit earlier, just trying to get out of the best here and go for an undercut. These drivers hoping that a caution comes out so they can go for an overcut here, but now fuel is going to force them into pit road. So here comes the rest of the front runners, and this will do it for the final pit stop run of the night under green flag conditions.
Yeah, and very well done from those 6 guys as they get in cleanly. We're going to hope that all of their stops are clean. They can all get out cleanly. And just like that, you can have 6 guys exiting pit road just as they entered it. And they can keep the draft, they can stick together, and they won't lose too much time to that main pack, that pit. And that is going to be the big question, Nolan. Where do they come out in correspondence to the leaders of that main pack? We're about to see here, as I wonder, it looks like Bailey and Gudger are going to be leading that main pack. Let's see where they hop out.
Of course, you got to remember, right, it's a long way to get up to speed, and while they're getting up to speed, that main pack is going to blow by them on the outside line. Campbell and Raymond, the 2 trucks that still have to make their way into the box. Now, the 41 did actually get out in front of the leaders here. So this is going to be an extremely tough fight, because they're going to get up to speed right around the time when these guys get side by side with each other.
Yeah, and once again, look who it is, Nolan. Bailey, Gudger, and Wreckage, 3 of the Ford Racing guys, charging on that outside line against Malone, Austin, and Dudley. 3 newcomers, 3 rookies to this league. And Bailey actually going to drop down the inside line, go for a block on maybe Malone, leave his teammates in the dust. So a bit of a questionable move there, as usually you wait for all of your teammates to get clear before you drop, but Bailey pulls the trigger very early.
Well, the exception is when you're in a 2-point battle with your teammate for the championship.
That's a good point. That is a really good point you bring up, Nolan.
And at the point that things are running, right, you got to remember, Gudger right now is only ahead by 2. This could very well end up being a heads-up fight entering the final race of the National Superspeedway next week.
Yeah, which does make it quite a shame that we won't be able to cover it, but it just straight up doesn't work, because we are doing a 24-hour stream, which is all hands on deck. We need all the casters, all the producers we have simply cannot be running something at the same time as it. and we will not just simply put won't be able to cover it. But we can pretend like this is the championship battle right here, as it is the two championship contenders, 1 and 2 in the field, as Wreckage now looking to push Gunter clear, and they do get clear of their teammate. They now move to the point of this field.
Final 10% of this race, 8 of 80 laps are left to run. And you got the top 12 all packed up, line astern. 14th on back have a pack of their own, 14th through 19th. Carter Casey in no man's land.
Oh, Gunter gets a little bit up into Romero there, as Bailey falls way back into the pack. He's now in 8th position. And who is that? Romero left out completely to dry by all of his competitors. Although one of the guys, I believe it's Zachary Harry, feels bad for him. He's going to stick behind him. And now we have Gavin Austin battling Paul Witt, 429. He's actually a lap down, it looks like, Nolan.
Yeah, Paul Witt 1 lap down, got caught up in the middle of all of this, so he is right now running out there on the racetrack. Paul Witt, of course, has made his final stop of the day, so he is happy to just drop back in the midst of this field and let drivers like Gavin Austin and Bruce Dudley now lead the way. Right now, he holds the lucky dog spot by 6.8 seconds.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Paul Witt at this point is just hoping for a caution, a chance to get him back on the lead lap and put him in contention for this race win. Because, you know, even if you're at the back of the pack, if you're on the lead lap, oh no, this might be what he needs as a 94 around. It is a caution. And Paul Witt, just as we were saying, it is going to go back on the lead lap.
This will not be overtime, but this does change the race as the 94 entry of Zachary Harry goes around.
Yeah, and that did kick off in that main group we were watching, but I didn't quite catch how it all started. So I am really curious to see. And of course, the most important thing is making sure Paul Witt didn't get a 0x or a 4x off that incident, or he is not going to be a lucky dog candidate.
So Gavin Austin will lead the way with 5 laps to go. We should get set to go back to green flag race with around 3 or even 2 laps left. This could end up being a nat green-white checkered finish. We'll have to wait and see. But in the meantime, this is what happened to Zachary Harry at the back end of the field for the 94 entry, who has taken quite a lick into the outside wall. 3 wide with Wreckage and just squeeze Wreckage down. That's just 2 lines coming together. Nothing Gudge did wrong, and around Wreckage goes, or around Harry goes, sorry.
Yeah, just a really awkward moment of Wreckage getting caught in the middle of 3, though. Harry simply didn't know he was there. He thought he had the room to go down to that middle lane, but unfortunately for him, the 27 Wreckage was there, and that's just going to cause the accident. Pretty basic from Superspeedways, really, just a car not knowing they're top of 3 there.
Boom, a heavy lick into the outside wall for the number 94. And once again, we are going to slow her down as racing action is going to come back at it here before too much longer. But in the meantime, this race continues to pick up pace, and we are going to be coming back with just a handful of laps left to go. Stay with us. We're back for the last laps from the Talladega Superspeedway on Green Flag TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Pilots go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV as we are gearing up to go racing once again, and it's going to be a nat green-white checkered finish here, it looks like, in this one, Lucas, as this field is gearing up to duke it out for what will be an intense final 2 laps, just over 5 miles of racing from Talladega.
Yeah, can I say how happy I am that the phrase I coined, natural green-white checkered, has kind of caught on, because that's something I was pretty proud of. Is it's one of those weird circumstances where you take the 1 to green with 3 to go, so by the time you do go green, you get a 2 to go, so you get the green-white checkered effects, but without ever technically entering NASCAR overtime. I'm still pretty proud of it, a natural green-white checkered, or as I guess you've now shortened it to a nat green-white checkered, like we're playing Dungeons and Dragons or something. Yeah, I'm pretty happy that we're going to be seeing one here today, and let's hope that it's our only green-white checkered, and that we can get 2 clean laps of racing in, and not have any chaos ensue, and we can get out of here and we can get you guys a winner.
4 green-white checkered attempts, which I guess you can make it 5 now if you include the nat one, right? So, of course, that means if you get to the white if you crash on the first lap back to green, you will reset and try it all over again. However, if you make it to the white flag, whatever happens, happens. Now, the last race that we had in the Superspeedway Blitz here at Talladega, Lucas, was in 2025. It was one of the first races of the year. That race saw the biggest crash we have ever seen on Green Flag TV, with a total of 5 trucks going for blowovers, 2 of them flying into the catch fencing, about 20 trucks collected on the final lap, and combined with that, the closest finish from last year, 1,000th of a second, and all of that happened in the span of 20 seconds. Do you think we get something similar at the end of the 2026 rendition of this race?
I mean, if we do, everybody watching this live is in for a treat. I'll tell you that right now, because that sounds like one of the most spectacular endings in iRacing history ever. That is just absolutely insane, and I honestly, now that you said it, I'm kind of hoping that it happens, something as chaotic as that. Last night, as ETRL was definitely not to that level, but definitely a sight to behold, as the entire essentially top 20 got wrecked out, besides one lonesome Jamie Lee Dunning, as he goes on to win the race by about a second, I believe it was, and that was also a fanatical ending.
Coming to it, iRacing pace car is into pit road. Gavin Austin will lead the way as they make their way to the start-finish line. 2 laps the distance before we send this race into overtime if we get another caution. Green flag is back in the air, and this race is officially back underway.
Yeah, here we go. Gavin Austin now getting a great jump. That might not what you want around Talladega, but nonetheless, he does. Jordan Jung now going to start closing up on him already. He's going to be giving pushes to Gavin Austin. With only 2 laps to go, there is no risk of overheating your engine. It is pedal to the metal, and you're not lifting until you see the checkered flag or God.
Gavin Austin continuing to power through on the bottom side. Jacob Malone made an aggressive jump into the second groove, and now you see Jung pulling Austin off. That's going to abandon Bruce Dudley to the inside line. They're getting close. They're going to keep it together, though, for the time being. Hold it together, boys. Just another 15 seconds. Then he can wreck all you want. But, boy, they're trying to. Bruce Dudley down to the inside. 3 by 3 wide. White flag this time by. No, there we go!
They're wrecking!
Do they make
it? Catch the white flag?
They're gonna catch the white. No, they're not! Caution is out, and it's overtime! No. Right at the 11th hour, overtime comes out, and it's the huge one on the front straightaway. I thought for sure they made it back. They were meters away.
If it was Daytona, they would have. But since it's Talladega and the start-finish is at the end of the tri-oval, they didn't make it around in time, just barely.
Take another look, and this is going to take wreck of the night. As Ted Rackets tried to go for the inside of the 45. That wasn't happening. And that causes Evan to fall apart. The only trucks that made it through were those on the inside who could escape into the infield.
Yeah, and I'm assuming a lot of the guys caught up in this got caught up in the one from earlier, which means, Nolan, no faster pairs for these guys in the huge one, as you coined, which also, I love that from you, by the way. Instead of the big one, this is now the huge one, as it is much bigger than the 2 other crashes we had today. But a lot of drivers now simply going to have to retire the car from the race and no longer in contention.
It just takes one bad bump. That is all it takes, and all hell breaks loose. Multiple hard hits into the outside wall. Several drivers went spinning into pit road as well. Just when you think we're finally going to get away from it. Nope. Look at the calamity down to the pit road there as well. And Irish Pace Car is lucky that he got out of there, because it would have been right in the firing line.
Yeah, he bolted out of there as quick as iRacing told him to.
Nope, not having anything to do with that.
We almost lost our pace car, which would have been, I don't even know how they would have finished the race.
Nah, he's an omnipotent. He's fine. From above. Yeah, I mean, amazing that no one went over this. I mean, you and I both know how easily these trucks flip over on iRacing, and it is incredible that no one went upside down in the midst of all of this.
Wow, it is everybody.
Look at Jim.
Simply everybody.
Look at Jim Dude on the 053 on the inside. Does he actually manage to make it out of this down there? Real low on the racetrack. He may have escaped the carnage. Down low. He did!
Oh.
Jim Duda makes it out.
Round of applause for the 053.
Right on board with Duda. Oh my goodness.
Whoa, that is scary.
That is a sight right there.
Face to face with a backwards Michael Gudger as they're both drifting through the infield. I mean, what a moment.
And from the flag stand, you'll see it unfold as they enter the tri-oval. And then just a dog pile.
There he is, Duda. you see him like drift out from behind the cover of all other cars. And Barney the flagman vigorously waving that yellow.
I don't think he needs to. I think everyone was aware that the yellow was out there, but take a look. Watch where the wreck happens, right? And then look at right there. You see him pull the trigger right as they hit the restart zone. They were so close to making it back.
Yeah, and it kind of like fooled both of us with how long it took to throw the caution almost. It looked like we were actually gonna get the white flag with how long it was being delayed for. But no, it was just thrown right at that moment. And well, we're gonna get our first green-white checkered here. Not a natural one this time. So this is our first of
the first
4.
real
It's gonna
one.
be the O2. Exactly. Yep. Exactly. What would it be called? Not natural, but what, synthetic maybe?
Yeah, I think just proper overtime attempt works.
Yeah, but synthetic sounds cool.
Gavin Austin leads the way. Bruce Dudley to his outside. Still have 29 of 33 trucks on the lead lap. I am shocked that we have not wiped out more.
Yeah, that almost makes me wonder if they have more faster pairs than just one.
No, I can confirm that they don't.
Oh, okay, because
it's more a case
sure
of
they only had one, but
it's more a case of nobody's fixing their damage anymore.
Oh, yeah, it's a super speedway. I mean, damage schmamage, am I right?
I mean, you say that until your engine blows up at 180 miles an hour. A wild incident sends this race into extras. 4 attempts at overtime. This is the first of 4. iRacing pace car pulls into pit road. Gavin Austin looking for the United Rentals restart zone. He's going to look to hold the field as long as he can to ensure that they can't get a drop. Alexander Romero trying to see if he can maybe get the jump on him as well from third. Green flag is out in the air once again.
Yeah, here we go. Another great jump from Gavin Austin. He's going to instantly look to hop up the outside lane and block off Dudley. He's going to drop back down low, though. Although Dudley once again has a run, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Austin jump to the top. But look at that O2 car. He's got such a big gap in between him and Romero. He's going to want to close that, and now he does jump up to that middle lane.
Oh, boy, a big shot to the shorts. 10 Wreckage looking for the third groove. Not able to get it, though, as they make their way down the back straightaway. And that white flag is away to the field. Dudley and Austin jump down low.
Dane Bailey now with one other car behind, trying to lead that top lane, and no, Bailey's in the wall. Just as I say that, Joshua Burke gave him a bad bump in the middle of the corner. They keep it clean, they keep it green, and now we can go back to Gavin Austin, who's got Bruce Dudley pushing him with Romero behind, and the white flag surely to come out this time.
No yellow flag yet. They're going to keep this one green. White flag in the air, 2.6 miles to go. It's Austin, it's Dudley, it's Romero as they take the white flag.
The three of them get a pretty big gap on Aaron Raymond, but once again, somebody trying to lead that outside line. It's Gudger being pushed by the 45 of Jordan Jung. Still that 3-car breakout. Does Aaron Raymond have anything to answer? They're going to have to find something quick. Wreckage leading that middle line.
3-truck tandem down the back straightaway. They're jockeying for positions behind, but it's Austin, it's Dudley, it's Romero up in front. Truck's getting squeezed in. Look out as the 28's up into the outside wall in turn number 3. 4 wide behind, but Gavin Austin out of turn number 4. There's a look up high for Dudley. Dudley's gonna have to come back low. Austin's trying to block every which way. Dudley up high, Austin down low. Romero pushing the number 02 to the win. This time by Gavin Austin holds on to win at Talladega.
Great job there from Gavin Austin. Blocked high right when he had to. Got back low at the perfect moment in the O2. Bringing home his first SRA victory in his rookie season in one of his first races, if I'm not mistaken. It's a great drive from Austin. He's going to be definitely happy with that one.
A stellar drive, and he owes Alexander Romero a beer after that one. Bruce Dudley was looking for the run, and Romero pushed Gavin Austin straight through to a win. If Dudley didn't make the move, there was no way that Gavin Austin would have been able to hold on in the lead.
A great race all around from those top 3 guys. You saw they just got a massive lead over everybody else behind it. Wreckage, Aaron Raymond, 2 SRA veterans just couldn't make up the distance. And here we go. Austin's going to burn it down on the front stretch, and now we get to listen to that sweet, sweet rubber burning.
Gavin Austin burns it down on the front straightaway. A stellar win for him, and he is going to be real happy with this one. All the while, in the battle for the championship, Michael Gudger pulls the gap on Zane Bailey as Bailey got put into the wall with just a handful of laps to go. A wild way to close out racing action here this afternoon. Let's take a rundown of your official post-race results as we're going to jump back and talk to your top three in just a few moments' time. Coming home, number one, it's Gavin Austin alongside Alexander Romero. Bruce Dudley closes things out in third. From there, it's Wreckage in fourth, Jared Duda in fifth, Aaron Raymond, Thomas A. June, Jeff Gilmore, Dylan Wolvers, and Jacob Malone round out the top 10.
And then in 11th position, it's going to be Jordan Jung, and then just behind Thomas Davis, TJ Walsh, Mike Campbell, your championship leader, finishing in 15th, Michael Gudger, then Jim Coleman'sberger, Joshua Jernigan, Dalton Fredericks, Noah Swafford, and Carter Casey round out your top 20.
Moving back then into 21st through 30th, it's Rincon, Witt, Chandra, Burke, Bawalda, Harry, Bailey, Hyman, and May, with Jim Duda finishing this race one lap down.
And then your last three finishers on the field are Paul Witt, James Yerger, and Josh Kenyon, a 6-7 laps down.
And that is going to be it then for our race here this afternoon. A stellar outing here this afternoon as the field is going to come home after that wild afternoon. Let's take a rundown of your official top three here. We'll try to give a chit chat in here with the drivers that finished this race 1, 2, and 3. At the end, let's chat first and foremost with Gavin Austin coming home number one. It's his maiden SRA win in the Clean Core Solutions 02 Silverado. Gavin, what an absolutely incredible run here this afternoon. And I tell you what, you owe Alexander Romero a beer for pushing you to the win after that one.
Yeah, I appreciate, him sticking with me. On that last restart, me going up to, pull that block on, I believe it was the 88. I thought he was going to split me, either go bottom or top, but he just decided to stay, behind me, and it kind of all worked out from there. But I don't know, this is my first start in this league, so happy to get it done. Not a better way to, start it off, so happy to get the win. I was also streaming this on my Twitch, so I don't know if am I allowed to give it a quick shout out on your guys' broadcast?
Of course.
I don't know. Okay, perfect. My Twitch is just Austin, like my name, but instead of the I, it's the 1, and then _2. So AUST1N_2, and it's actually my first week of streaming, so I'm new to it, but I'm enjoying it, and I don't know, I guess you can say I'm getting better at it, but yeah, that was a fun race. I'm happy to be here.
Overall, go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna thank, of course, you guys for broadcasting this race, and the league owners and all the admins, taking their time and setting this up for the drivers. I really appreciate that, and also honoring, obviously honoring Bill Hayes. I'm happy to be able to, we were able to do a 3-wide salute in the beginning of the race, and that was special. So glad all the drivers got together and were able to race for him.
Kind of talk us through that second to last restart there, because you were in the lead and you were looking for the white flag. You saw the field falling apart behind you, no doubt, but then the caution comes out just before you got the chance to cross that threshold. What was going through your head when you realized you'd have to do it again for 2 more laps, and what's your aspirations for the future of SRA here?
I wasn't too worried about having to do it again. I was more worried about running out of fuel, because I didn't have much fuel left in the truck. So I was kind of just worried about saving. And if I think if they had wrecked one more time, I don't think I was gonna make it to the end. So that's kind of really what I was worried about. I was obviously a little disappointed we didn't make the white, but I just knew I was still in a good position for it, for to possibly win it.
Well, Gavin, congratulations on taking your maiden win in your maiden start, and we'll wish you the best of luck in your future SRA career when we return for the main truck series here on Green Flag TV.
Thank you. You guys have a great rest of your night.
Gavin Austin comes home number 1 this afternoon, and the driver that comes home third at the end of the night tried to make the move, couldn't get the job done. Lucas, you're standing by with Bruce Dudley.
Yes, welcome Bruce Dudley, and congratulations on the third. It was such a close battle at the end. You went for the move high. Austin put a good block on you. Talk us through your thought process.
Yeah, I was just kind of hoping that the 3 would have went with me, but obviously didn't. Kind of just killed it, I guess. I tried to side draft, but he was already way ahead of me, so I couldn't really do anything about it.
Yeah, and I mean the 3 of you guys, Romero, Austin, and you as well, you guys got a really good breakaway from everybody else behind, which kind of allowed you, even through all the fighting, to still finish 1, 2, 3 in this race. How are you guys able to do that and just completely leave Raymond and Wreckage behind in the dust?
I'm not gonna lie, I really don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I guess we just had good restarts, I guess, and they were just side drafting. I think. I don't know. I have no clue.
And then one of the other things that we saw you doing a lot is you were one of the leaders of that top and middle line a lot. So, I mean, you were always up there in the top lane, being in the right lane at the right time, getting yourself to the front of the pack. Talk us through, when do you change lines and how do you make that decision process?
I just make it whenever they get the run. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm just trying to get to the front. So whenever they have the run, I just move up and just try to take it.
Yeah, I mean that sounds logical enough. And moving forward to Nashville, do you have any thoughts, Nick? Can we see you back here, maybe on the podium?
Most likely not. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of suck in Nashville, so I mean we'll see. Hopefully.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Thanks.
And that is going to bring us to a close then here this afternoon. I tell you what, Lucas, what a fight that we had here this afternoon for the field. And a lot of excitement here tonight. And it's almost a shame that we won't be here for the final race of the Truck Series season. But, hey, the main series is kicking off in just a couple weeks, and it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to want to miss that. You're also not going to want to miss the 24 hours of Daytona that is taking SRA's place next week. So make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and while you're down there, might as well give us a like or drop a comment. Do all those algorithm things to help get this channel discovered by all of the people who are missing out on the amazing racing that we broadcast here.
And before we get to more action here on Green Flag TV, there is still bound to be more racing action here on the channel when we return. It is going to be on Monday afternoon. The High Tide Racing League gets set for more races here on Green Flag TV. The Kansas Speedway is what awaits us next as we swing to the Prairie States. PSR with the Winter Series is back for one more race on Wednesday. The Zero Torque Racing League kicks off the round of 16 this coming Friday at the Iowa Speedway after a thrilling end to the regular series season. The big story comes on Saturday with the VSCI Sports Car Championship. We'll go racing for 24 hours in the Sunshine State at the Daytona International Speedway with the Precision Automobile Club Esports racing at Watkins Glen International. That coming Sunday as well. If you want to find out more about who we are and what we can offer you, check us out today at www.greenflag.tv. My name is Ola Ramble alongside Lucas Moody. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll see you all when we go racing next time on Green Flag TV.
Peace.